This is another tragic story about plastic surgery gone wrong. In October 2025, Alicia Stone, who was a New York City detective, traveled to Cali, Colombia to undergo cosmetic surgery, specifically BBL. On October 16th, she underwent surgery, and roughly just 1 week later, she was found unresponsive in her hotel room in Colombia and then rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced deceased. The cause of was listed as unspecified cardiac arrest, but her husband has publicly stated that something just does not add up based on the timeline, the fact that she was reportedly doing fine and suddenly she passes away. The family is calling for an autopsy to be done and further investigation into what exactly went wrong. Cosmetic procedures, especially BBLs, carry higher risks than many realize. She does leave behind a husband and 3 children.
This why I say, I'm telling y'all, this BBL culture is out of hand. It been out of hand. It always been out of hand. And this is a mother, a wife, a successful businesswoman, career woman. Let me correct myself. A New York NYPD detective, okay? An NYPD detective, not a police officer. No shade to police officers. I respect what y'all do. But to become a detective in any city, you have to be a police officer for a certain amount of years, certain amount of time. And then after that, you have to be a part of the narcotic unit. You got to shadow all these units to get to that level of expertise of becoming a detective. That's a process. That's not an overnight process. And you're telling me, this is what I'm saying. This woman had a passion for her career work. She had a strong level of desire, a perseverance, grit, grind, but not enough willing and grind and perseverance to do this thing the right way, to get into the gym, to do this thing the right way, to be here for your husband, to be here for your children. And this is why I'm saying, ladies, a lot of y'all women, y'all be looking at these women on Instagram, TikTok, or whatever. You have this personal midlife crisis of your body or whatever, and you want to just go get a quick fix. No. That's something from within. That's something from within. And we have a lot of women out here that go through this whole process, but don't want to do it the right way. And the thing is, I feel some type of way about this because of her husband. Like, why would you let your wife do this? And then not only why would you let your wife do this, why would you yourself as a woman do this, but then you go overseas to this country where these uncertified, no-name doctor, no-name such and such, you allow yourself, you put your life at the hands of corruption, but you want God to see you through the other side. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. When you allow yourself to be at the chopping block of the corruption, of the corrupted, that's what's going to happen to you. Sometimes maybe not death, but you're gonna have a life-altering situation where your body is not functioning right. You got so many women walking around here with BBLs and posting it on Instagram, Facebook, here on YouTube, TikTok, whatever. But they have these health issues behind closed doors, and they're not talking about it. They're not admitting that. And that's the conversation that we don't have enough. We don't have enough women that's really being transparent enough that's talking about, hey, look, this is the complications. This is what comes along with it. Stop looking at these women on IG and all this other stuff thinking these women are winning. No, they not. These women are suffering behind the scenes. They taking their picture, smiling and doing all this other stuff. And as soon as they put their camera down, their phone down, they gritting their face, they gritting their teeth because their body hurt in areas that they don't want to admit that it hurt in. And that's the thing. It's like, how I just want to really visit this conversation. How do you expect God to cover you when you allow your life to be at the hands of man? Okay? Man is going to fail you all the time. Man, woman, that's going to fail you. When you put that comparison, compared to God, there's no comparison. And that same level of grit that this young woman had and passion that she had to persevere, to become a detective, she should have used that same energy to go to the weight room, get on that workout regimen, lose that weight, do this thing the right way. Do this thing the right way. And I'm not here to bash, I'm not here to criticize, but we have a lot of women that's allowing themselves to go through this process when this is a demonic process. You are altering your body. You are altering your life. You don't know what these people are putting in your body. You're meant to live 100 plus years, but now that you get this BBL, now you're going to live 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. You take so much life, so much years off of your life, your intended life that God put you here to live a certain length. Now you shorten it by going over here to this operating table, letting Dr. such and such, whatever, operate on you. He's not certified, not qualified. And now your kids got to go without a mom. Now your husband got to go without a wife. You got a widowed husband now. Now your kids going to go to sleep at night crying, wanting their mama, and their mama never going to come in the room and see about them. Because you had to get a BBL. You had to get a BBL. And we got to talk about this. This is why I say BBLs, we have to shame it. We have to shame BBLs. We have to start normalizing getting in the gym. We have to start normalizing eating right. We talk about this body positivity thing, but come on now. Come on. No, we have to talk about doing this thing correctly, man. Doing this thing the way God wants us to do it. God put us all here. You're meant to live the God-ordained years that he put you here for. Why would you put yourself in a position to shorten your life by 30, 40, 50 years? Why would you do that? And then you having all these complications, women suffering with blood clots and all this other stuff, passing out. You got women that got to take what you call that? What, the asthma medication and all that other stuff? Inhalers. Didn't have asthma their whole life, but now when they went and got a BBL, now they got asthma all of a sudden. Now they got all these breathing complications and all this respiratory issues and all this other stuff. You can't do that to God. You can't disrespect your maker. You can't disrespect your creator. Because you have to change from within in order to change the outside of you. It takes inside work. Ladies, it takes inside accountability. And then with that accountability comes with passion, comes with desire, comes with perseverance, comes with integrity. Going to the gym, doing this thing 4 or 5 days a week, whatever. Going out there walking a couple of miles. You know what I'm saying? Getting on that treadmill, getting on that Stairmaster, getting you a trainer that's going to hold you accountable. That's going to keep your feet, hold your feet to the fire. All right, come on, let's get on this scale. Let's see what you did. Let's see how we looking. We've been 3 months in working out. Let's see where we at. Oh man, you on the scale. Man, you dropped another 7 pounds. You dropped another 8. Man, you got to be willing to go through that. You got to be willing to go through that instead of going through this. Instead of going through this, what this lady put herself through, no longer here now, and put her children and her husband through. You got to be willing to fix the issues from within. And I have a problem as a man. And my wife talked about this. And I didn't really think about this. This didn't really dawn on me till my wife said this. my wife feels a way about BBLs. My wife is all natural. You know what I'm saying? And dope, beautiful, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, because that's my wife. I'm supposed to feel that way. But I personally, honestly believe that. I got to brag about it real quick. But my wife, she was saying something about, man, I cringe when I see these women that's motivational speakers that got a BBL trying to tell women to love themselves. And I was like, oh. And when my wife said that, that's true. How can you be a woman and you telling women to love themselves and all this other stuff, but you don't love yourself? You don't love yourself enough to do it the right way. You have to be an example. And I try to tell men the same way. You got to be an example. I can't sit up here and tell y'all and talk to men and hold men accountable and tell men what they need to do, and they need to man up and they need to start taking care of their wives, taking care of their children and all this other stuff. But I'm not taking care of my wife. I'm not taking care of my children. I can't get on this camera in good faith and talk to y'all about this, knowing that I'm a scumbag behind. I can't do that. Some men can do that. You got a lot of men here on social media, all throughout social media, that will cheat on their wife, live this type of life, and then will come on the camera and say, hey guys, hey man, let me talk to you guys about marriage and all this. No, I'm not sitting up here. I have too much of a conscience, and I fear God too much to be fake. And I really want more women to understand you have to fear God, and you got to fear God. Okay? And overlooking the fact that you want your body to be this, but you don't fear God. Like, you gotta get in the gym. You gotta get in the gym. You gotta love yourself. You gotta love you. Because when you get in the gym and you work that out for you, God sees that sacrifice. He knows the desires of your heart. He knows what you want your body to look like. So when you doing them squats and you trying to make that thing poke out a little bit down there, you doing them power cleans, you doing them lunges with the dumbbell and all that other stuff, God understand that. God gonna help you along the way. God says the desires of your heart, if you do it and you put forth the effort and you meet me halfway, I'm gonna give you that. But we have a lot of women that don't want to do it the right way. And then just want to, get on that operating table of a corrupted person, of a Dr. No Name, and then expect to get off and have a prosperous life. It don't work that way. Yeah, you're going to have some women that's walking around fine, good. God bless you, because I don't want you to have health complications. I don't want you to struggle throughout life. You know what I'm saying? And all this other stuff. But there is a number of women that's suffering, and there are a number of women that's dying from this. And a number of women that's having to go through amputations, having to get their foot cut off, their whole leg cut off. You know what I'm saying? Their arm cut off. Like, y'all have seen this. These people that'll inject chemicals in you, all this, man, come on now. But I really want to encourage y'all women to love yourself. Love yourself. And you deserve to live the prosperous life that God has set up for you. And how can you live a prosperous life? And how can you ask God to bless you and cover you when you go outside of his covering of corruption? It doesn't work that way. So, ladies, love yourself. Stop going to Dr. Corruption and thinking that God gonna cover you after you get out of that. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about it, man. My condolences to the family. My condolences to the husband. I don't know why that man let that woman do that. I don't know why okay, baby. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. I don't know why that man did that. They both in the wrong. You failed your children as a husband, and that lady failed her children as a mom. And I'm going to call it out on both sides, because now you as a man you're a widowed husband, and now you got to deal with the loss of a wife, and you got to deal with grief, depression, and all of that. Now you not as a man clicking on all cylinders as a man, as a husband, as a provider, because now you have to go through this grief that comes in stages. And your children got to go through stages of grief. That you don't recover after losing your mother. You don't recover after losing your parent. I don't care at what age they are, you lose your parent. You're not the same. And when you, as a man, as a covering man that's supposed to cover his wife, it's your responsibility to say, nah, baby, we gonna get in this gym together. We gonna work out together. We gonna do this. You see this gut? Nah, baby, if you need to lose weight, if you trying to tighten up, tone up, do this, I need to tighten up, tone up, and do this too. So let's get in the gym and let's do this together. You tired of being fat? I'm tired of being fat too. You see what I'm saying? But to allow your wife to try to go through this whole shortcut period, and now she's no longer here with us, that's what I'm saying. But as a woman, you got to love yourself, and you got to think about this. How can you tell a woman, how can you tell the young generation of women to, girl, you got to love yourself. Girl, don't be afraid of don't be afraid of who you are and what you look like and all this other stuff. Don't be ashamed that you can't say that when you go get plastic surgery. I'm sorry, but not sorry. You can't say that when you go alter your body. Because you didn't love yourself. You're not taking your own advice, and you're trying to tell women some advice that you failed to take within yourself. And that says a lot about you as a woman, that you don't want to go through the grind. You don't want to go through the grit, the perseverance process that will have you blessed. And you just want to go over here, just skip all that other stuff, all that due process, and you want everything to be blessed. You want your health and all this other stuff to prosper and be covered. No, I'm sorry. It's not going to work that way. And a lot of women that get these BBLs, you didn't go through the process. You didn't do your body the right way, going to the gym, you know what I'm saying, cutting back on eating and all this other stuff and working out. But you want a man to come into your life that's all put together. He has to come into your life. He has to be healed and all this other stuff and offer all of this. But you went to the shortcut and you didn't go through a process that you want a man to go through. I'm going to call it like I see it. I'm going to call it down the line, ladies. I'm going to call it down the line. You can't want a man that's done all the work when you ain't done all the work. But we have these women out here with these BBLs. It's a certain demographic, I'm not going to say certain demographic, because you got white women, you got black women, you got Latino women, you got all races of women doing this nonsense. They'll come out here with this just because they body done. They want a certain type of man. But with your body, what do you got? What else comes along with your body? What about your spirit? What's in there? What's from within? What's in your heart? What's in your mind besides your body? I don't care about your body, but then you'll have these women that'll, just because they look a certain way, they want a certain type of man. Nah, I'm gonna call that out. But anyway, man, leave your comments down below and just let me know what you think. But condolences to the family. Peace.